We are here at the largest Pokemon tournament in U.S. history, the North American International Championships. Hey, Nick with 9Card TCG, back from NAIC, and it was amazing. I had such a good time overall. Thank you so much to everybody who came up, said hi, that supported the channel, all that kind of stuff. It really, that is the highlight of my of the event for me. We're going to talk about NAIC, how I did. Spoilers, it was really poorly. And then we're going to go ahead, talk about the event itself, what I thought of it, all that kind of stuff, show some videos, some of the people I got to meet, and yeah, that's kind of the whole thing, so let's get right to it. Competitively, the tournament was a disaster for me. I mean, not for Cyrus, who won the event, so congratulations to them, but I went 0-2 drop. It happens, right? Sometimes you just have an event that is just not your time. It's not your day. You're not playing well. You're not feeling it. You made a bad deck choice. I actually don't think my deck choice was bad at all. I thought Single Striker Lugia was a good pick, and I'll continue to think that pretty much forever. However, sometimes it just doesn't go the way you want, and I'll talk about my 2 rounds very briefly. Round 1 was a game against Mew, and game 1, I won. I won game 1. It was easy. Well, it wasn't easy. My opponent was very good. But won game 1, game 2, and game 3 between some very unfortunate starts and not being able to get both Archeops into play. I just lost. My opponent was able to just go boss KO the one Archeops I had, and I just lost. There was really nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Round 2, I played against a Zorobox, which is not a very good matchup. Again, failed to get Archeops running. I was late to that round. I was actually interviewing somebody, and I was late. So as a penalty, I can't tie. If I tie, so my opponent wins game 1, I win game 2, there's no result to game 3, just for example. That would result in a tie. I can't tie. So if we tie, my opponent gets the win. So I have to win games. You have to win 2. I have to win 2 of the 3. And when your opponent's playing a single prize deck like that, it's really hard to finish all 3 games. I don't want to say that my opponent was intentionally slow playing. I don't know that they were, but they definitely were playing slow. And towards the end, I had to inform them to, hey, like we gotta pick up the pace a little bit if we're gonna even try to finish game 3. And by the time we finished game 1, there was like 10 minutes left in the round. I was like, there's no way we're finishing 3 games. Because again, even if I lost game 1, even if I win game 2, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna have enough time to finish game 3. So I just scooped, gave him the win. And I said from that point, I just was not having a good time. Again, I couldn't get double Archeops into play. I was flipping tails on everything you wanted. I was flipping the wrong, tails or whatever. So I just wasn't having fun. And that's okay. It's perfectly okay to say, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. Mentally, I'm not there. I'm not enjoying playing right now. I'm just going to drop out of the tournament. There's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's exactly what I did. So I dropped it 0-2. And then I just focused the rest of the time on meeting people, interviewing, doing all this kind of stuff. My goal for 2024 or for the upcoming season is to be a caster. And I really want to be on that stage. I really want to be interviewing other people. That's what I do best, I think. So for me, I didn't really care about the tournament competitively. I cared about the tournament as an event. So now that we covered how abysmal my competitive portion of the tournament was, let's go ahead and talk about the event itself. Overall, I thought the event was really, really good. It was magnificently produced. I mean, there was so much quality in everything from when you first walk in, everything to all the lighting and the streams, and everything was so cool. They had a little Terra Cave thing that people were taking pictures of. It was honestly really stunning. And I brought Lauren, my wife, with me, who she has never been to any official Pokemon event. She's never been to a cup or a challenge. So going to NAIC for the first time, where they really stepped it up, was for her really honestly overwhelming a little bit, and eventually she started to get used to it. So there's going to be a clip or two in here from her point of view as well, which I'm kind of looking forward to because I think they're pretty funny.
What the hell am I even looking at here? Okay, so hear me out. I'm really trying to be a supportive wife. I drove 8 hours to Ohio with my husband for a Pokemon tournament / convention thing, and I'm a spectator. I have my spectator badge. And this is very overwhelming, but I also don't know where to stand. Like I'm like huddled here in a corner against the wall, and I'm just watching, and I don't know if I'm supposed to even be here. Look at this shit. And I'm back here in a corner. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Where do I go? Please send help.
Now that we covered the competitive side and how abysmal that was, what I really want to do is showcase the event itself. And what these events for me are, they're an opportunity to meet other people who are just as passionate about the game of Pokemon as I am. And I want to share some of the stories that I heard over this weekend, starting with this really great couple. They were super, super nice. They took the time to talk to me, and every time I saw them the rest of the event, we always had something to talk about. And it was honestly such a great time. So let's go check and hear from them. We're here, Colton, Brooke, 2 player spectator, yes?
Spectator.
Both of you. Oh, so what makes you want to come to these events as spectators?
We went to regionals. This would be the 5th event for me this year.
This would be my 3rd.
And, I mean, you just missed out on registration. Otherwise, we'd both be playing today, but...
TCG or VGC? Or Go?
TCG.
Very nice. TCG's, it's always the end. It's always TCG. Anyway, what makes Pokemon something that you two want to do together?
We're both competitive, I guess. That's the easiest way to put it. It's always kind of like who's the best in the house kind of thing.
Right.
And it's also something that, eventually down the line our kids can get into, and our kids already enjoy it as, a 4-year-old can, but
right.
It's just all-inclusive. It's family. I got friends all over the country that, I met through this card game. I got friends that I served in the Marine Corps with that play this card game. It's a lot of just inclusiveness and everybody coming together over Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Basically, the way that I look at it is we decided that we were going to change some of our lifestyles.
Okay.
And when you live in one of the drunkest cities in the world, it gets rough.
Right.
So we wanted to find something outside of that to do, and we chose Pokemon.
Okay. How did you come across Pokemon? Was it something that you were familiar with?
He did it as a kid, and then he got me into it.
We found my
almost 2
old
years
card
ago.
stash. So after moving some of the stuff around at my mom's house, I ended up pulling a bag out. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what's in this. And I opened it up, and it's my binder full of all of my old Diamond and Pearl era cards.
Right.
So, and some base set stuff mixed in. And, I showed it to her, and she kind of giggled for a second. I was like, no, there's actually a game you play with this.
Yeah, that's most people. They see the cards like, oh, this looks really cool, and then they move on. Mm-hmm. But the game, that's really what is at least the most compelling part to me as a player, is being able to be competitive and be competitive with so many individuals. Like you said, the social aspect is absolutely tremendous, and it's something that you hear all weekend long. It's being able to be around so many Pokemon fans is one of the best feelings. Walking into this IC felt, for me, a little bit different. How did you feel walking through those doors for the first time?
We're about to do it right now.
Oh,
we just got in. We picked our badges up and everything, and had to grab coffee before we go in, because you got to wake up a little bit for the coffee. I definitely, it's huge. I mean, I remember my first time was Peoria Regionals, walking in the door and just the sheer, not anywhere near as grand a scale as this, but just the sheer amount of people, and the fact that over 1,000 16, 17 and up in one bracket alone, and it was just, I get chills talking about it, because it was just that jarring to be like, wow, there's a lot more people like me.
Now you might be saying, Nick, I don't have friends, I have family. And that's my Vin Diesel impression. I don't have friends, I have family. I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty decent Vin Diesel. I feel like if you close your eyes, you feel like you're in the room with him. Anyway, Pokemon is a game not only for for competitive people, but it's for families as well. And I met this great father-son duo. They play Pokemon with their entire family, and I want to share what they had to say about that. Here with me is Jonathan and John's son. We're here, they're playing Pokemon, and one of the things that makes me really happy to see is families enjoying Pokemon together. Tell me, how did you both get into Pokemon?
So we showed up at our local game store, and they happened to be running the Chilling Reign pre-release.
Okay.
And my wife and Johnson and his two younger brothers played, and I sat there and watched, and I said, oh, this could be fun.
Yeah.
This could be good. And then from that, it just kind of snowballed, and we learned how to play the game, played the Battle Academy games, learned how to play it, started loving the cards, chasing cards around too. You know, it's fun opening the packs.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where we got started. And the three younger boys and myself and my wife plays a little bit too, so we all enjoyed it.
So it's a whole family event.
That's right. And my oldest loves opening them too. I'll save him some packs and come on and open those. It's great.
Now, does everybody go and you all play? Do you all go to tournaments together? Or like, what's the family dynamic? How's that changed?
All right. So we play a lot of our local, right?
Yeah.
Play a lot of local. Then what regional did we play in?
We played in Charlotte back in February. No, March.
March, yeah. So everybody played in that. The four of us, the three younger boys and myself. My wife kind of made sure we were all where we needed to be.
Right.
And then my oldest came and watched. But we played the regional together. We played the locals together, and we had an opportunity to come to this one. So we're like, we're going to go do that. So it was great. But they're back home cheering for us. They're like, you're going to do great. I'm like, we're going to try.
Now, what you started with Chilling Reign pre-release.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into it at that point?
Really, we were stopping in the card shop just seeing that if there were patch open or like some singles to buy. We didn't know that there was a big competitive side of Pokemon. We knew there were rules, but wasn't much other than that. So I think we just stopped in the shop and they ended up having it, so we decided we were going to play it and see how it actually worked. We just ended up learning, and it was pretty fun, so we stuck with it.
Maybe beating his brother might have something to do with it too. And their dad, right?
I don't know about that.
The first tournament I ever really played in, I was 10 years old, so we're talking over 20 years ago, and I played against my brother, my older brother, in that tournament, and he would always beat me, and I beat him in that tournament. I went on to win the entire tournament, so nice. I definitely see how beating family sometimes you can be competitive in a good way. How has this changed the family dynamic at all? How is this, using this as a bonding experience?
Right. Well, mom's keeping an eye on the budget, make sure we don't spend too much.
Very, very important.
But really, like this trip, and then just hours at a table sitting across from one of your kids.
Right.
You're spending time with them, you're talking about what they did that day. They're teaching you how to play, trying to keep you from playing bad decks. And there's just time there, traveling, being together, and even the community that we've gotten to know. They know my kids, like I love their kids. We're starting to really bond as a community and a family together with that group. It's really nice.
Yeah. What about you? How do you feel that this has impacted your family?
Mainly the nights that we spent in preparation for NAIC and stuff, just being able to play, test around with different decks for hours at a time, just running back and forth with those. We spent a good bit of time doing it, going to locals and stuff.
Yeah, we do.
But it's been great.
Even if you're not going to be competitive in the tournament, maybe you missed registration or you don't feel like playing or want to play in this big 1,900 person tournament, that's perfectly okay. These events have something for everybody, whether you're trying to play in side events or you just want to hang out amongst other Pokemon fans. I met a few cosplayers, and I'm going to share one of their stories in just a moment, but man, it's really hard to express in words just how incredible it is to be surrounded by so many people whose one-track mind is just Pokemon. All weekend long is Pokemon. And someone who comes to these events just to cosplay and hang out and take pictures and meet all these other individuals, that's a real Pokemon fan. They are someone who loves Pokemon for Pokemon, and I respect that. So let's go check in and see what these cosplayers are there for. We have Professor Cat cosplaying as Professor Sada from Pokemon Scarlet. It looks incredible, by the way.
Thank you.
How did you get this thing together?
So it was between Professor Sada and Iono, which I have an Iono cosplay for tomorrow. Okay. But I'm playing BGC today, and I made the headband for Iono with the Magnemite. Right. So my friend was like, "Oh, you'd have to take that off every round. That'd be annoying." So, but I got both of them on some like, it was like MICcostumes.com, but like it came with shorts, but then I wore a skirt instead. And then it came with these like leg thingies that she like I guess has canonically in the game, but like they look weird, so I just went combat boots.
Okay. I mean, the whole outfit looks incredible. If
The pink is for Iona, and I just like pink.
Listen, who doesn't like pink, right? What made you pick Sana specifically?
Well, I have Scarlet, and I don't know, she's just like, can I curse? She's kind of badass. You can censor that part.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think badass is a problem. So you're going as Iona tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference for Sada versus Iona?
I feel like they're both good in like different ways. They're both like different types of girl bosses.
Okay. But they are both girl bosses,
Yeah.
which we love here.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to get into cosplay, what's the one thing you would tell them? How could they start cosplay?
It's kind of cliche, but I was like, just do it. Because it's like, I feel like I would see people cosplay and I'm like, oh, that's so cool, but like, I don't know if I want to dress up. Like, people look at me. But like, I was just like walking around here and like a random like person was playing TCG and they're like, I love your cosplay. So I was like, oh, it's awesome.
That is definitely a thing.
And they all get it because it's like, they're playing the game.
The lab coat is a great touch.
I love the lab coat. It has the little like rings and it's fuzzy.
I didn't even realize the
Wherever
buttons.
I got it from was like very
Those
legit.
buttons, though.
The website has like a bunch of like Pokemon cosplays on it, so
That's
I'll
great.
choose from.
Now, it doesn't have to be Pokemon related, but is there a cosplay that is your absolute all-time favorite?
I kind of just started, so.
Okay. How recently did you start?
Oh my god. For the last regional I went to in Hartford, I trust him as Jen Powell, but like people didn't really like fully get it. I wore a fuzzy white coat and these giant fuzzy white boots and like ears, and people were like, oh, I thought just your name's Kat, like I thought the ears, and I was like, I'm Chen Powell, but like. So that was like my first dabbling.
You gotta get the big saber teeth.
Yeah, they were like, where's the daggers? And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't really know how to do the daggers.
I want to see that cosplay so bad. The last story I want to share is about a player who moved from the TCG to the VGC and competed in their very first event at NAIC, and I wanted to talk to them about the challenges of preparing for a VGC event compared to a TCG event. Here with me is Becca, coming off her very first VGC event. What'd you think of it?
I had a lot of fun. So coming from TCG, it was a completely different experience, completely different kind of strategy that you need, but I actually liked it a lot more.
Now, what is some of the difference in preparation for a VGC event than a TCG event?
I think that you have to really get familiar with the meta Pokemon that are used. Maybe not necessarily a team, but definitely the moveset that they use, typing, Terra typing. That was a lot. Trying to learn the type chart was very overwhelming.
The type chart is something that most people take for granted as people who've been playing Pokemon for such a long time, but as a new player coming in, the type chart, you just look at it, it can be a little overwhelming.
A lot of overwhelming.
And now you learn all these types, you learn the Pokemon, and with Generation 9 Scarlet and Violet, you have Terra types and Terastallization. Any Pokemon can become any type, which has to be a little bit adding or addition to that overwhelming experience.
Yeah, it surely was. I think that learning the typing was probably the hardest part of, because learning your advantages, disadvantages between, matchup varying. But other than that, I had a really good time. I definitely have a lot still to learn.
Sure.
But it's been a really fun process. A lot more fun, like I said, than the TCG.
Oh, you can't do me like that. So there you have it, NAIC 2023 wrapped up. It was such a good time. We didn't just stay in the convention center, we also traveled out and explored a little bit more of Columbus, which gets a lot of hate online, especially in the Pokemon community, but honestly, it was a really nice city. It was, I'm sure it has its share of problems that we did not get to see in the very short time that we were there, but from what we saw and what we explored, it was a great time. We went to the Center of Science and Industry. We also went to North Market a lot. So the next time you're considering going to NAIC, I really hope you do check it out. Let me know what your thoughts were on NAIC. If you got to go, do you plan on going to NAIC in the future? I hope so, and I hope to see you there. But that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to give a special shout out to the YouTube members Black Wins, Mike the Highest, Fernando Ortiz, Chin Pokemon, and Eric N. Thank you all so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And if you want to become a channel member, you can go ahead and click the channel member button somewhere at the bottom of the page. I'm not really sure. I haven't done it myself.